Welcome to Taja's Cabin, Part 6. Now we're standing here on the north shore of Lake Illinois looking at our nice cabin, which we can't see. So the cabin should be right there, but it's not showing up. By the way, I have some different mods installed, which explains that. It's a really cool mod called the Ruins, and it puts pieces of various types of ruins all over Skyrim. And a few other different mods, but we will not worry about those right now. But you can see right there is, I think that's a window or a different piece. You can see a little bit of a window right there and right there, but you don't see the log cabin. Why isn't it showing up? Well, let's take a little swim. Try to stay above water, and any second now our cabin will just magically pop into view, and there it is. So here we are, almost halfway across the lake before we can even see the cabin, and that's no good. Who the hell are those people? Alright, you two clowns better not interfere with my video. I have detection turned off, so they should just stand there and ignore everything. But back to the matter of the cabin. Why is it that we couldn't see it until we got almost halfway across the lake? Well, there's a very good reason for that. You see, in the creation kit, if you double click on an item, or you select it and then right click and a little box pops up and you click edit, it brings up a information box. And there's a number of things you can do in there. You can adjust the XYZ coordinates. You can you link items to other items. That's how you link up teleport. You link up your doors for teleporting, and in the bottom of that panel, there's a bunch of checkboxes, and there's one in there called Full LOD. And if you check that, then you can see your object from a greater distance, and that's why we could see the windows, and I think we were even seeing that bright object was this door over here. It was kind of lit up from the sun. But we didn't see the logs because I forgot to do that when I put the logs in. And the sad part is I only really need to do that to one log. And then from that one, I do Control D, which makes a duplicate of it. And the duplicate's going to have the same item selected. So I only really need to do that with one. Make a duplicate from there, and all the other ones would have it. But I completely forgot to do that. It's a really stupid mistake on my part. So that's something that I have to fix. And I have two options. I can rebuild it, or I have to select every single log in here, double click on it, check that box, go to the next log. And there's probably 400 or 500 logs here. That's going to take a really long time. But I still think it's going to be a little quicker than rebuilding it. So that was the first dumb mistake I made. Now, there is another little problem. And it has to do with the interior. So we're going to go and take a look at the interior. But I figure as long as we're out here, I've not done anything out here yet. You can see we've got bigger walls now. And everything went into place very well. I've got the windows in. Now you may notice that the logs look different. They look rough. For whatever reason, I don't understand why Noble Skyrim is not affecting this, and it should. It did before. It is a texture mod, and we're seeing the log in its vanilla look. Same with the windows. That's how they look in the vanilla game. So why it's not changing it now, I'm not sure. Last time I checked, it was really dark in here, and I think that's because of the ELFX enhancer. Let's see if I can, there's a couple things I might be able to do here. Let's see if this helps. That helps a little bit. I also have quick light, so I'm going to turn that on. And we'll set this to as bright as possible. There. Now we can see a little bit better. Okay, you're gonna see a little bit of flickering now because of I got the quick light on. I think it's a lot darker in here because of EL effects, and I don't know why. Because the first time I installed EL effects, it changed the interiors of the interior cells in the base game only. It didn't affect mods. It didn't even affect the DLCs. I remember having to load a separate mod to tone down the brightness in Lakeview Manor because it was just so bright in there. And EL effects didn't affect the DLCs. So I don't know why this is so exceptionally dark all of a sudden. But getting back to the problem with the containers, I made a really stupid rookie mistake. See, I know if you want to do something with a container, you just make a custom one. And I have several custom containers. In fact, this is linked to a custom container. This is linked to a custom container. All these are linked to custom containers. So what's the problem then? Well, the problem is, let's go downstairs. This right here, it's an end table. I brought this in here. I dropped it in here. I opened it up. I removed the items in there because I didn't want miscellaneous junk in there. For some reason, I was thinking if I put that container in my mod, I can make an adjustment. I can remove the contents and it's not going to affect anything else. Well, I ended up doing the same thing with some College of Winterhold bookshelves like these. You see they're empty. And as it turns out, it emptied every container of this type in the whole game. And that's no good. That's what I consider a broken mod. I affected every container of this type in the whole game if this mod is installed. And that's not good. You don't want your mod to impact the rest of the game in a less than positive way. It's the same thing with these. I went to a few different buildings that have this end table in it, and every one of them was empty. Every single one. These sacks. This one, that one's empty. That one's not. There may be a container down in here. That one's custom. That's not a problem. These sacks, I emptied these. So now every sack of this type in the game is now empty. But I mean, it's a sack, you know. You might say, well, who cares? What are you going to get in there? What, an apple, a potato? Who cares, right? That's not the point. The point is my mod is affecting other containers in the whole game in a less than positive way. And that's no good. So how do we fix that? You know, simply removing these containers from my mod is not going to fix it. Once I put this in here and I remove the contents and I click save, that is irreversible. I can't undo what I did. So does that mean the mod is permanently broken? There's no way to fix it? Yes and no. Yes, it's essentially a broken mod, and I cannot undo what I've already done. But that doesn't mean that I have to start this mod over from scratch, from the ground up. There may be another way that I can save what I've already done and not have to replicate and not have to rebuild everything from the ground up. And the way to do that is, first off, I have to remove all these offending containers from here. What I can do is do a left click and drag and highlight the entire interior cell and then paste that in a new cell in a new mod. Then I can put in proper containers, and that I think will work. I think I can do that without having to rebuild everything. It's going to take a little extra work, but I think that will fix everything. It doesn't fix what I've done with this mod, but you remember as well, I talked about maybe renaming this mod, and this is a perfect time to do it, because what I can do is when I open up the creation kit, I make this, I double click the box for this mod, so I make it available for me to look at, but I don't make it the active file. So what I would do is I would start a new mod, give it a new name, I can go to this mod, I can copy the entire interior cell, everything that's in here, and then paste it into the new mod. And then I can, add proper containers. And then that should, well, it's not really fixing the problem, it's just making a new mod that doesn't have a problem, if that makes any sense. So, that aside, that's what I'm going to try to do, and hopefully that's a workaround. Instead of having to rebuild it or try to fix the problem I created, I can use what I've already made and put in new containers that are correct. Now, when it comes to the exterior, when I was talking about the full LOD thing, I can do the same procedure for the exterior. I don't have to rebuild the exterior. I can do the same thing where I can copy it from this one and paste it into the new one. I'm going to have to do the terrain editing again. But as you can see, there's not been a whole lot of terrain editing done right now. I did a little bit of leveling. I put down some dirt. I added this piece on the front here. Well, that's part of the house. So, I've done a little bit of terrain editing out here, a little bit in the back, but not that much. So, other than really putting down some dirt and a little bit of leveling and removing a few rocks, I've got some floating trees up there too. But other than that, there wasn't a lot of terrain editing. So, copying and pasting this into a new mod is not a big deal. But I will still have to bring up every one of these logs and click on the LOD box. So that's going to be a long time consuming process. There's just no way around that. But it's still a lot quicker than rebuilding the exterior. This is the roof that I had in originally. Then I replaced it with that taller roof that's from Windhelm Architecture, I think. I decided not to use that one because the roof was just way too tall, and I didn't want that attic in here because it made the house a 3-story house. It's not supposed to be a 3-story house. It's just supposed to be a simple log cabin. I mean, you look at it, you got a living room, a kitchen dining room combination, a little library, a little bedroom in your basement. It's not a big house. It's all one cell. I didn't want a 3rd floor in here. It just made the house too big. I didn't like the look of it. So I put this one in. I did try to make my own roof, and I was trying to make that transition piece. I actually did find a triangle shaped piece, but I still couldn't make it work without doing something like the flat roof thing. So I understand why that's here now. And I thought, well, if I'm going to go through all that trouble, why not just slap this in? It's so much easier. So that's what we've done. And we've got some bookshelves in here. I try to, you can see I have this here. I don't even know if I have any books on me, but it's not working right. As you can see, it just smashes them over into the corner. One time I put a bunch of books on here and it just did an accordion thing and it squished them together and a bunch of them came flying off. I've not been able to get this to work yet. I tried that over here with not this one, but with the same type of bookshelf. I've not had any success with that, which is why I put these College of Winterhold bookshelves in here. And then I emptied them and boogered up the whole game, but we won't get into that again. Here in the player's bedroom, I have this container here now for the scrolls, notes, and journals, and it's up and working. And we still have the crafting supplies. Changed a couple things here with the gold and gold coins. Not anything significant. I think the only other change I made in here was this armor storage container. So I thought that was different. I know I had that little chest over there before, and I talked about changing that. So now I don't remember from part 5 if this was in here or not, honestly. I don't think it was, but I decided to try something a little different, and you know, it's pretty obvious what it is just by looking at it, which is what I like to do with the containers. I like to be able to look at something and know what it is. That's why I have a soul gem for the soul gem containers. That's why I have this stuff looking the way it does. It's easy. It's kind of like street signs, you know, the ones that have the little diagram on it, you know, the walking person, whatever. You can just look at it and know what it is. So other than that, we've got a different roof in here now. Everything's lined up and looks pretty nice. We got the new armor storage. We've got our scrolls, notes, and journals container. I don't think there was anything else added in here. Maybe the stuff on the shelf. I should have watched episode 5 or part 5 before doing this one. So the food and the drinks and the bottles and stuff, those might be new. But, you know, there's just an apple tart, little candle, and some bottles. You know, just a little bit of random clutter that you might find. And the library is, I think this is pretty well done right now. Other than maybe trying to fix the problem with this bookshelf. I'm going to give this another try and see if I can get it working. But it's not been cooperating at all. But other people have done it, so I'm like, man, I gotta try it again. I gotta get this thing to work. So I don't know why. This follower area, I don't think this was done before, so it's pretty well done. You can see there's another empty container. I have to replace that one. Empty chest, that's another one I did. How many chests of this type in the game? There's a bunch of chests that look like this that are different, so it's not like I affected every chest that looks like this in the whole game. But, you know, this end table, I probably emptied this as well. So, but I think this area is probably pretty well done. I may put something here on the walls, but it's just a spare room for a follower. I don't think I've changed anything down here. This was in here last one. I remember talking about that. Oh, Meridia. I had a boulder under here before, which looked pretty good. Then I put this... what do you want to call this thing? An altar, I think. This is the altar at Mehrunes Dagon's shrine. Which is kind of funny because you have one Daedra who's standing atop the shrine or the altar of another Daedra. But I don't know. I guess that looks okay. What do you guys think? So, yeah, still got Meridia with the Dawnbreaker there. I think that's the only thing I changed down here. Everything else is pretty well set. I don't see any real reason to... The only other thing... Yeah, I might change out these animals and put something else here. That's the only other thing I might do. And in here... You know, maybe I'll put some stuff on this shelf. Maybe I'll do a little something with the food. I don't know. I might put some food here on the table. That's really about the only thing. You know... Other than fixing the problem with the containers, I'd say the interior is about 95% done, which is great. It's really great because it's a lot of work that went into this, which means we just have the exterior to finish up on. I wonder if it's still raining. Yep. Okay, well, there's not much more to add to this. As you can see, once I get this stuff put into the new mod and get things fixed, then we can get back to actual mod making, and we'll do some work out here. I need to put in a stable, and of course get in to grow the planters here for growing ingredients, and I've got to do a little bit of nav mesh work, and maybe put a little fence here and put some stuff on the deck on the back. Put the walls up a little higher, put a roof on here. It's not a lot. So I'll get this fixed, and we'll continue on with it because it's too close now. We're getting very close to having this mod complete. And, I'll get edit and test it, make sure there's no dirty edits, and maybe I'll put it on the Nexus and share it with others who have shared their mods with me. So that's where we're going to leave it for now. Hope this wasn't too boring, but I kind of wanted to go into a little bit of detail as why there was a bit of a gap between this one and part 5. The system upgrades and reinstalling everything, and the little problems I've been having getting this mod up in a creation kit. Yeah, it happens, So anyway, that's where we're going to leave it. Thanks for watching. Hope you found this somewhat entertaining and informative, and we'll get to work on this one. Get this mod hooked up, and I think maybe 1 or 2 more episodes, and this should be done. So thanks for watching. Take it easy, and as always, I will see you in part 7.